Okay. Who is out there? Who is out there? Hey, Tobela, Ntate Matla Kasibile. Hello, guys. Greetings. I see some people that have joined. You can send your greetings. Um, yeah, so this is the beginning of things. How was your day? How are things going? Greetings, Dad. Um, I saw that it was Mr. Power. Greetings, everybody. It's going to be a very interesting session that we have in store for you, and I hope you will get a bunch of a lot. Please follow me if you haven't started following me. Just quick introduction. So my name is Mojalefa Maluka. I'm a coach. Primarily, I'm getting into what I do, which is a PhD candidate in management studies, specializing in human resource management. Yeah, so that's what I do. And my subject interest really has been in the area of careers. I'm also a TVET lecturer, by the way. I'm a senior lecturer at a TVET college, hoping to transition very soon into higher education in terms of universities, and I'm working hard towards that. So, but my subject interest is career development, and that's why I wanted us to be around this space today. So you can just quickly let me know who you are, where you come from, what got you interested in what we are talking about today, which is career planning. It's the beginning of the year. And as everything looks, it will be key for you to have some sort of a strategy. How am I going to achieve my career goals for the year? You know, um, so that is the whole idea of today's session. And I hope by the end of the time that we spend together, you would have had some sort of an idea of what am I aiming for? What is my plan? The typical statement is if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. That cycle that we are talking to. So how do I move to the next level in terms of what I want to do, in terms of my career? Um, how am I going to move to the next level? I think that is the biggest question. And I hope that this session will actually provide some sort of a context. How do I move into the next level, looking at careers and everything else? So, yeah, so we're talking careers. How has your career journey been? Is the question. How has your career journey been? I'm going to give you just a brief when it comes to me. So, my desire, I can see that Mr. Power gave us something. I'm gonna read it, and anybody else can also add in there. How has your career journey been? What have you been up to? As I give you some sort of a context of where I come from and the space that I come from. So I initially wanted to be a psychologist. It's what I wanted to do, man. It was a career passion. I wanted to get this thing done, and unfortunately, as you know how life works, it did not connect that way. It did not come together the way I wanted it to. So my undergrad is in psychology and English. My honors degree is in psychology. And if you know the world of psychology, you will know how hard it is. Fortunately, I was already teaching, and so I remember one time when I really wanted to upgrade my marks. I'm like, now I'm ready. I'm gonna get this thing done. How do I improve my marks so that I make it into a master's? And I remember I was talking to a professor, and the professor just told me straight, find something else to do that can crush your dreams. There's no other way to say it. Guys, I was hurt. Because you're sitting there, you're like, find something else to do. Are you serious? And that was it, man. Find something else to do. And that's what I was told. And I had to find a coach, find somebody to advise me to say, listen, man, you've got a family, you've got this, you've got that, and focus, find something else to do. True. And that is when I pivoted and I got into, started my life coaching sessions, and I really started focusing on what do I do with this career issue. How am I gonna bounce back? It's tough. It's a hard journey, but if you are serious, then you're going to have to hustle to do better. So let's read what Meketsi wrote there. Meketsi Matla. That's where the power comes from. Is an HR professional with over 9 years of experience in HR ops. That's awesome. So yeah, so how I got into studying for my PhD was because of um, that pivot that I made after my honors degree. Then I just went to the University of South Africa. I enrolled for a postgraduate diploma in business administration. And needless to say, man, I killed it. I did well in that area, and it got me interested further in business stuff, which kind of led me to starting my consulting, So, yeah, so Mr. Power, I think career coaching and leadership development are the way to go. The biggest thing is knowing your niche, knowing what you are going to really work on when it comes to that. Who does what when? My specialty, to be honest, is mainly when I do life coaching. Mainly, it is relationships. It is just giving light counseling about life issues, and now I'm into career coaching. So the biggest thing, and I want to state this, and we can share all the stuff, guys that are watching. Please share this live, by the way, and if you're not following, please follow me. The biggest thing is you need to know your niche. You need to know what you are wired for. So I've got about 12 questions that, in fact, it's 10 questions and two last statements, right? That we are going to have to look at if we are serious about restructuring a career path for career success. Okay, so Mr. Power says, I have a keen interest in career coaching and leadership. So, yeah, the biggest thing, guys, is you have to know your niche, know what you are wired for. Um, that's the biggest thing, because differentiation is the key to why you are going to get headhunted. Differentiation is the reason why somebody would pick you out of everybody else to do what you are doing. So I realized that, listen, you are good at counseling people, advising them. Of course, not on a pathologizing them and all the other stuff, but you are good at those small advices. So zoom into it, even with your career. So I've got 10 questions that you need to ask yourself. Guys, we are introducing ourselves. Please go ahead, introduce yourself. Let me know who you are, where you are coming from, what career are you in. Today we are talking about restructuring or structuring a career path for success for 2026. So I hope you've got a pen and paper, and please engage. Please follow this thing as well. I can see a couple of guys are joining in. Please follow. Please ask questions. We are talking today about career success, how to achieve career success in 2026. So, there's a lot of people that get stuck when it comes to their careers. Gone are the days when people would become accidental this, accidental that. Fine, I get it. But if you have a chance, you've got to plan for your career. Our parents, they became accidental this, accidental that. I became an accidental teacher because I was stuck. I had this psychology degree. And as you know, if you are not brainy and all the stuff, you don't get through. So here I was, at least I got an opportunity to study to do a PGCE and get into education. And then I moved into TVET education. And then I started a business, yeah, life coaching, and so on and so forth. So Mr. Power says, currently pursuing masters in strategic human resource management. And I think that's the way to go. Your niche. What is your niche? Is the question. What is your niche? What are you planning to niche on? When people think about you, what are they going to think? When people think about me, they're thinking, okay, fine, this guy counsels couples. This guy, talks about careers. This guy talks about leadership. Because those are my topics. I try and not do everything. I don't do labor law. I don't do all those other things. Fine, they're part of HR. But for me, the HR part that I do is human resource development, not the management part. It's not my interest, not labor law. I may know it when I'm lecturing and so on, but I don't go further than that. So the question is, what is your niche? And what is going to be your niche? What are you going to be good at? What are you going to master? Back in the days when IT was still about coding, because that has shifted as well. AI has shifted the ball. Things are no longer as clear, man. It's a bit rough. Um, it was about coding, and so when somebody would tell you that they're in IT, you knew they were coders, right? So you would either have to know Java, you'd either have to know Python and all that. You still need to know those things, but the niche is very important. What are you good at? What can you focus on and be the best, so that when people think about you, they're thinking, okay, this guy is someone that we can get for this particular thing, and be good at that thing at the end of the day. That is what really matters. So the question becomes, if you're here, you're listening to me, what are you good at? What can you niche on? Because you can't be a master of everything. You can't be a master of everything. So it's going to be key for you to know what to do. Right. So number one question. I hope you guys are ready for the one question. Please write there, ready for one question. I see there are a couple of viewers here. Please share this live as well, guys. We are talking today about how to restructure or structure a career path for success for 2026. So number one, in terms of the questions you need to ask yourself, the questions you need to ask yourself, nobody else, you call yourself to a board meeting and say, listen, it is what it is. What do I need to do next? Question number one. I hope you guys are ready. Right. Question number one. What are your dreams, hopes, and aspirations? What are your hopes, dreams, and aspirations? When you think, what do you think about? Listen, I wanted to be a psychologist with everything in me. That dream could not work out, but I got something closer to the dream, which was coaching. So now I do coaching. I'm currently pursuing that, doing what I can, doing the best that I can. What are your dreams, hopes, and aspirations? And I've seen people, geez, there's a guy right now who's doing medicine and he's 50 something. So, of course, don't, get so fixated that you lose your entire life over a career. But at the least, you need to have a dream, a hope, and an aspiration when it comes to your career. What do you want to be? What have you always wanted to be? And sometimes the dream can happen, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, you need to pivot. Because the other thing is that we are not flexible enough. And the honest truth is that the jobs that we see right now may not necessarily be there a couple of years from now. They may not be there. There are jobs that are no longer there. AI is showing us flames. So you've got to be malleable. Right now, your job options should include stuff like data, analytics and all the other stuff. You got to think outside of the box when it comes to your career. An average person changes their career path about 3 times in their lifetime. So you cannot limit yourself and what you are capable of doing simply because of the fact that, listen, this is what it was back then. I tried and now it's not working. You've got to be able to pivot. And sometimes, guys, thank you, guys. I can see now there are people who are joining us, and really appreciate that. We are talking about careers. We've asked the first question. We've got 10 questions. And thank you for the loves. Thank you for all those things that you are throwing at me, because it shows you are part of this thing. The only person that has commented so far, Mr. Matla. So I want to hear and see your comments, guys. Let me know. Ask me questions. We are talking today about structuring a career path. There is something called a career slump, where you just reach that place in your career that they call a plateau, right? There is this theory that talks to the different career stages, and it talks about a place where there's a decline, which would be very unfortunate if we have what is called a decline. So what we need to be looking at today is, how am I going to put on my best foot and put it forward? How am I going to ensure at the end of the day that what I do sticks? What I do works out. So, number one question, as I said, is what are your dreams, hopes, and aspirations? And you work towards that. I wish I knew how to add on my screen the topic. I don't know how to do that. I'm looking at a screen here. It shows you that I'm a newbie. I'm actually testing this whole thing, and I'm glad you guys are coming on board. So question number one, what are your dreams, hopes, and aspirations career-wise? And guys, that is not the only question. It's not the only question that you need to be asking yourself, because you cannot base your entire life on just hopes, dreams, and aspirations. You gotta have a 360-degree look at the world that you are in. Now, you find a lot of people having passion for something that's not going to generate an income. I was talking to some people yesterday, and I said, most of us can dance. Most of us can dance. Most of us can, okay, not most of us can sing, but we try. Some of us can rap. So if you're going to be there, you better be part of the 1% that is the best. You better be part of that 1% that is the best, that's going to kill the game. You can't be bizaring around that issue, because we are talking about your life here. And sometimes I feel like, guys, we are passion. Fine, I understand you are passionate about the issue, but passion is not the only thing. You can't just be passionate and think passion is the only thing that drives a career. You gotta go beyond just the career, the passion, and say, listen, what else? What else is there that needs to be put on the table? What is the world telling me? Because the world is what's gonna pay you, right? The world is what's gonna pay you. So now, if you are saying, no, I'm doing this because I'm passionate, is that what the world is asking for? So I often hear people, and we all had that, and you need to outgrow it. At some point, you need to understand this is what the world is asking for. So thank you, guys. I see sweets, I see all kinds of things. Much appreciated. Please follow me, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Please share this live. Number one, we said, what are your dreams, hopes, and aspirations? As number one question. Number two is, what am I wired for? Right? What am I wired for? What is my shape? What am I shaped for? There is this thing about shapes, right? It talks to issues of gifting, passion, your heart, your competence, your wiring. I mean, there are some people that are just good at talking to people. They have a gift, they have a skill at talking to people. Those are your politicians. Those are people who are charismatic, and then there's some people who just like focusing on a task. They're more task oriented. So how are you wired? I mean, you cannot go and become and study medicine when you hate blood, you get disgusted very easily. So what is your shape? What are you shaped for? What are you created for? Are you more of a person who is mathematical, logical? Are you more of a musically person? What is your shape? So think about that as well to say, I mean, there are some people, guys, who are not great at sales. They just don't have it. They are not people that are able to connect with others very easily, and not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just their shape. It's their design. It's not for it's not for salesy careers. So now, if you throw this person in a marketing job where they have to go out there and schmooze and get sales, you are killing them. And sometimes you find us going out there because everybody was studying marketing. When I was growing up, everybody was studying marketing in South Africa because it looked like the easy job. But now, if you are not a marketing person, if you're not a person that's great at marketing, believe me, it's going to be a headache for you. So the question becomes, what am I wired for? What are my strengths? What am I great at? When people, and the one way to know it, guys, is the feedback that you get from other people. What do other people say when they hear you? What do other people say in commentary when they hear about what you do? Do they kind of say, geez, man, we like what you are doing, you're great at what you're doing, and so on and so forth? What are people saying in response to what you do? The reason why I do what I'm doing, which is coaching, is because people have said, dude, you are great at this. You're an advisor, and I'm very careful with that because, I'm not a psychologist. So I just give plain downright wisdom. And I trained, of course. I've got an honors degree in psychology. I'm doing all kinds of other things. But streamline your studies with your passions. Streamline your studies with what you are wired for. Otherwise, then it's going to be a clash, and you're not going to be able to make a killing with your career. What are you wired for? Today, I was counseling a student of mine who is in the TVET sector, and he's not a book person. He's just not a book person. So this is not somebody that you think will actually probably get a PhD of sorts. But I sat down with the parent and I said, don't be discouraged. There are TVET colleges. There are places where you can get practical skills for this child. Yes, it might look like they've hit a brick wall, but there is still some skill that this child can get. So what I'm trying to say to us, guys, is what are you shaped for? So you look at him, you look at a builder, you look at somebody that can work at a construction site and still make some sort of a profit on it. There are some people, wherever they go, guys, they see numbers, they see people, they can easily calculate things. Those are accountants and so on. So what are you shaped for is a big question. There are some people who are just born leaders. I mean, currently there's a discussion that's going on about how sometimes it's not for the best that you promote somebody and make them a leader of everybody, because there are some people who are just not meant to be leaders in terms of like be a CEO or whatever. You are killing them because that's not what they are wired for, So the question becomes, are you wired for what you are doing? Guys, please comment, say something, share likes. I hope you're getting something. So we are at number 2, and no one is writing on the wall to say what's 1 and 2. Number 1, if you still remember, please type it out. Number 2, we said, what are you wired for, right? We are talking about a career plan as a strategy which you are going to use to reach your career aspirations. So number 3 is, what is the labor market saying? Thank you, Herbert. I really appreciate it. What is the labor market saying about the desired field? The field you want to get into, what is the labor market saying about that field? There are so many of us, guys, that are going towards jobs that are slowly dying. The jobs are slowly dying. They are not growing. There isn't much growth. I mean, if you go and study to be in the postal system, work for a post office, that's over. So when you look, I mean, now and then there's this list that is shared about jobs that are improving, jobs that are dying. There is I think it's ILO, International Labor Organization. they usually post the jobs that are coming through. There's one, if you Google right now and you look for jobs of the future, it gives you a list of jobs that are out there, of jobs that are available, of jobs that are going to be in demand. And it's clear. So now you need to kind of say to yourself, am I aligned with where the world is going? Am I aligned with where the world is going, or am I studying for jobs that may not be there in the near future? Am I preparing myself for failure? And we can discuss and go on and on and on. I wish I had saved that list, guys, because it would have been much beneficial. It's a beautiful list that I wish I had the, if I had known I was going to come this far, I was going to put it out to say, here are the 10 jobs that are growing, here are the 10 jobs that are dying. It's a list that is out there. If you Google it, you will find it. It tells you of what is out there in the labor market, so that you don't oversaturate a career that is not growing. The career is not growing, there isn't a demand for it, and there you are. It's like right now, a lot of people want to be musicians. There isn't much of a demand. In fact, the music world right now is yay. There's a lady right now that is an AI lady that has got a record label. She's AI. In other words, this is an AI digital figure that is now got a record label. Obviously, there's somebody behind that. Now, if you're not a tech savvy person, it's going to be a problem. So you need to kind of say to yourself, am I part of the 1% that is going to be brilliant as a musician? So don't go for jobs that are dying. Go for jobs that are going to build you up. Go for jobs that are going to take you to the next level. Go for jobs that 5 years from now, I'll still have a job. 10 years from now, I'll still have a job. What career line? Maybe we can advise each other which jobs are out there. I mean, I know on that list there was data analysis. On that list there was something about a geo analyst. So it's all these things that have to do with the next level of my career. And I want you to write it out. Say, hey, I'm fixing myself for the next level. Guys, please join and like, and I hope you are following me. Prepare yourself for the future, because the future is out there to be gotten, guys. And as you can see, the world is changing so quickly, right? But I still believe there is space for all of us. But the question becomes, we can't saturate. Thank you, Herbert. You are at least commenting. Everybody else, please follow, comment, say something. Talk to this guy. So the labor market, guys, you need to do a labor market analysis to check. I say I want to be this thing. Is this thing going to be in demand? Is this what the market is asking for the next 5 years or so? So that I don't set myself up for failure. I don't go to university or a TVET college to go and study a qualification that will probably not be there. And remember that these institutions are also making money. So they will not tell you. I mean, nobody told me that it's so hard to become a psychologist. When I went there, so I was cruising, I'm chilling, I go there. And yeah, you go there, and I'm telling you guys, it was a mess, man. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, now what do I do with this qualification? Because I've got it, but it can't take me forward. So we need to be able to do that. Mr. Power says the labor market has become very complex and unpredictable, truthfully speaking. It's important, though, that we get the latest data on careers and on labor issues when it comes to which workspaces work, what is done, what needs to be done, what is out there. Herbert says, I am passionate about psychology, but the process is too long. Yeah, so you kind of have to figure out what's going to work for me, what isn't going to work for me. I come from a background where I could not afford to be tabalazing forever. I needed to get my career to the core. So the issue of structuring a path for your career success, we are now at number 3. Do you know what the labor market is asking for? And again, funding is an issue as well. So that's why you can't have too many mistakes, guys. We need to get this thing, to the T. Um, yes, there will be mistakes. I mean, I tell you that if I had known certain things, I probably wouldn't have done them the way I did. But looking back, I mean, I majored in psychology with my undergrad and in English and psychology. It was the English that saved my life, actually, because that's how I got my job as a teacher. So it was a blunder, but it helped. But what I'm saying to us, guys, is please find out what the labor market is saying about your desired field. I want to become this, but is this going to still be necessary at the end of the day? We look at where the world is going right now. There's food scarcity. There'll always be jobs in that industry. In agriculture, there'll always be jobs. In IT right now, when you look at America, they are laying off people. So when you go into IT, South Africa is a bit slower, but in America they are laying them off. The biggest thing is to say, 5 years from now, what will IT want? Right? And you begin to channel yourself towards that. Data analytics, data science, this and that. Know your stuff, so that when that future comes, because it's closer than you think, 2030, guys, is 4 years from now. Who would have thought? So we got to be thinking along those lines. Mr. Power says National Sector Skills Plan outlines critical and scarce skills for SA in different sectors. Yes, so go and check the National Sector Skills. I know the former Department of Higher Education minister in South Africa used to talk and issue out, a communique about scarce skills and jobs and so on. You need to know what the scarce skills are in your country. I'm not sure how many countries are presented here, but you gotta do your research, guys. Do your research and ask questions, because a lot of us don't ask questions and then we hit a brick wall. Yes, you can always bounce back, but if you don't have a lot of money to make mistakes, it can become a huge mess. So it's important, guys, that we have these kind of conversations where we talk about, okay, fine, I find myself hitting a brick wall. What can I do? One of the things that's important, guys, is the issue of technical skills. Technical skills. If you find that you get bored very easily with books and so on, TVET colleges are there. You go and you get a TVET qualification, and some of those guys are doing pretty well. Yes, the TVET sector has its own issues, but you can't just sit and fold your arms. The question becomes, what is your plan for the next couple of years? When in 2014 I hit a brick wall, like a proper brick wall in terms of my career, because an area that I thought was going to work did not work, man. And I had to sit down and carve out a plan, which is what I'm sharing with you guys, that got me to where I am, where I'm at the tail end of finishing my PhD, because that was my plan. I sat down and I thought, listen, psychology didn't work, but there's academia, and you seem to, plug in pretty well in academia. Why don't you go in there and see what to do? Become a coach, see how that plans along. So guys, I hope you're still there and you're still following. We are at number 3. Can we all say number 3? Right? So number 4 of our questions that we are asking ourselves as a career plan, right? Yes, it's number 3. Number 4, now we are saying, what are the available opportunities in this field? What are the available opportunities in this field? Because sometimes, guys, you could want a career and there are no opportunities. I mean, I never thought, guys, that there would be doctors that don't have jobs. That's the kind of world, it's precarious. You could be highly skilled and spend 6 years and it's like, yeah, what's next now? So what are the opportunities that are there? So I looked at academia and I said, okay, fine, psychology didn't work, but the opportunities are there in academia. I can advance and become a lecturer and work at a university and make a bit of, progress in that area, So what I'm saying to us, guys, is What are the opportunities in the sector that you want to get into? If it's in retail, what are the opportunities that are there? Can I grow, become a supervisor, move from a supervisor, get into marketing, get into becoming a CFO, distribution? What are the opportunities that are there? You need to be able, guys, to see beyond the immediate of what's going on in terms of your field. So what opportunities present themselves in the area that you are looking at? HR, for example. In HR, there's labor law. There's labor relations that you could get into, which is hectic. There's human resource development. There's the latest field right now in Tata Power, which is called people analytics. That is in the human resource space, which is where you are at. It's tricky, people analytics, but it kind of gives you an edge because it's not something we have in South Africa. But it's you being able to analyze data that has to do with people. So what are the opportunities? Sometimes we get into fields, we get into careers that have zero opportunity. Zero, zero, zero. And because you're so hopeful, you know, I was telling some people, I'm like, guys, come on, man. You can't be doing dance videos the whole day. No ways. How many people are doing dance videos? You got to think beyond. So, guys, please share, please share, please share, please share. Please share this video. Please like it. Please follow me as well. That's why we are doing what we are doing. What are the available opportunities in your field? If it's medicine, what's there? So careers have two pathways. There is a specialist and a generalist career track. So you got to figure out what is out there, right? And you are leading us to something that is also in the academic space when it comes to career research, which is the issue of, do I niche or do I become a generalist? There is a huge debate in terms of the career space about should I niche or should I just become a generalist? But I would say do both. Do general stuff, but also know what your niche is. I mean, if you look for me next time, you'll probably look and say, I want that guy that was talking to us about careers. And hopefully you'll find the same guy talking about careers. That's the power of niching, because you become the best in that area. When people look for me, they look for me because they know what to get. I'm not beating around the bush about what I'm going to deliver. And I'm not doing everything. I'm not into all kinds of other stuff. I'm not into, directly personal development. No, careers, relationships, leadership, just mental health, come down, not too deep. That's what it's all about. What are you planning to niche on? So that when people look for you, they know what to get. But at the end of the day, when you niche, make sure that it's a niche that you are good at, so that you don't waste time and money, right? So we are still talking about the fields and the opportunities that are there. Make sure that the area that you are going for has opportunities. One of the things that has become a frustration, especially in a country like ours, where you can't afford really to get this career thing wrong. It's the issue of, academic degrees and professional degrees. Because we were not told about that. We were not told that there are academic degrees, there are professional degrees. And we just went. We studied maths, we studied chemistry, but we studied them as academic degrees, and we go out to the working world only to find out there are no opportunities, because what we studied was actually an academic qualification. And it hurts because there aren't those conversations. No one sits us down to say, are you sure that this is the way to go? So those are things that we need to discuss. And even the place where you get your qualification, what it means, and what it's going to lead you to. But also, guys, I want to say to us, let's not undermine stuff like learnership, stuff like when you get those opportunities. I mean, I got mad years ago with one of my relatives who had a great opportunity to go work for a company in our area. And they had given him a learnership. And in that learnership, they could go into the company and they were going to place them, like they would have 6 months here, 6 months in that department, 6 months in marketing, 6 months in finance, 6 months in the production side. That was the plan with that learnership. And because this guy said, no, I'm passionate about arts, yeah, and he walked away from that contract. It was a bunch of them. And years later, I'm sure there are regrets because it's not just about passion. I know passion matters, guys. But when opportunities present themselves, geez, man, sit down, do the math, and say to yourself, listen, this is a great opportunity. For some of you here who are always afraid, your company is giving you a great opportunity and you're always afraid. You're like, no, I don't have what it takes. I might screw it up. It's not about that. It's about going in there and saying, this is a great chance. This is a great opportunity. And I'm going in there and I'm going to make it happen. Guys, let's learn to grab opportunities because sometimes these opportunities don't come back. They absolutely do not come back. Where are the likes? Where are the shares? Guys, these opportunities don't come back, man. When I had my conversation with my supervisor, when I was nearly done with my master's, I thought to myself, because I had sat down with a doctor and the doctor had said, don't do it. The doctor had said, listen, your body has taken a beating from the masters. Life has shown you flames. Don't do it. And I sat down with myself and I thought, I'm already in a bad shape anyways. And this opportunity may not come back again. Herbert is laughing. This thing may not come back, Chief. So let me go in there and do what I need to do because this baby may not come back. And I went and I applied and I registered and I thought to myself, I'm taking this opportunity for what it can give me. And there it is. I'm nearly done. Of course, I've fallen down a couple of times because a PhD traps a lot, but I did it and I don't have regrets. I'll rest when I'm done. Was I afraid? Yes. Was it scary? Yes. But we are thinking about where are we going? Is there demand for PhDs? Yes. There's a huge demand for PhDs. It's been something that's been spoken about on documents. The government wants to produce as many PhDs as possible. So the best is to get it now before things get slow. Universities want to produce in South Africa, there is a target for PhDs. So I thought to myself, listen, there's a demand for this qualification. I'm going for it. I may not be 100% feeling okay, but I am going for this thing. Guys, we are at 1.1K likes. Please like. Okay, so we spoke about number 4. What is the available opportunity in your field? So Mr. Power says opportunities don't wait for you to be ready. And that's 100%. I wasn't ready for the PhD, but I went for it. They usually show up when you least expect it. So please follow me, guys, on social media. Follow me on this TikTok. It will encourage me to keep this thing going. We are at number 4, right? Number 5. I hope you guys are still there, and I'm grateful for the likes. Please like, share, 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 share. We are at a couple of people there that I can see, so I think we can still keep pushing, guys. So number 5 says, what am I going to need in order to meet the labor market needs? Now that I know that there is a labor market gap, guys, careers are about closing gaps. I'm going to say that again, man, with my lisp. With my lisp, my full lisp. I don't like this lisp. I try my best to, but it doesn't work. It's how I was built. But guys, what am I going to need in order to meet the labor market needs that I've seen? Now that I've studied the labor market, what am I going to need to meet those needs? There's a gap in the market that I'm seeing where I can put myself in there. I'm good at sales. I know I'm great. I mean, there's a guy that I know, guys, that guy can sell you anything. He works for MTN. He's one of the executives. He can sell you anything. And he's making a killing at MTN at sales, you know? And there's another guy who was a mentor of mine. He was working for IBM and he killed it because when he started his career, they all went in, right? And he chose the sales side of IT. And the other guys chose the programming side of IT because it was a group of them. You see the value, guys, of checking the market. And when they were sitting and talking among themselves, he said to them, watch me 5 years from now. I'll be making twice, if not three times, what you are making. And they all laughed at him. And guess what? 5 years from then, because sales in IT began to now be in demand, IBM was now in demand. They wanted their products, and remember, with sales, it's commission. It's your basic salary and commission. And he could talk. He had this twang that he was using that got him the gigs. So he was able to use what he had. There are some of us guys who are aesthetically pleasing. Your accent is amazing, and you are able to code switch. And why don't you get into these things of sales? Know what you are good at and capitalize on what you are great at. I'm a teacher, and I'm sure you can tell with that. I'm a teacher. So where I can, that's why I've always kind of loved education. And I realized, fine, one door is closed, but here's a gap. I'm filling in the gap. So where are you going to fill in the gap in terms of your career? Guys, time is not on our side. It looks like I had just started a while ago. In terms of banking, guys, banking is still in demand. I've got a friend of mine who's in the banking sector. Um, yes, the ATMs are otherwise, and automation is taking over, and so on. But I don't think it's a pursuit that's going to be. Maybe banking is changing in terms of, like, your kiosks and so on. But in terms of the idea of banking itself, it's going nowhere. The only thing is you cannot have an ambition to be a teller. Perhaps maybe you could be somebody that works with clients. You could be in private banking. You could be part of the people that sell the stuff that banks are giving out, because they're doing a lot of these packages and so on. Again, guys, careers and sectors, they evolve. Some of them don't die, they just evolve. It's just a matter of you saying, okay, fine, I'm in banking, it's not dying, it's not going anywhere. So what I need to do is maybe just find out what is banking becoming. Like I said, my friend is in strategy. She's in currently in Dubai, and she's doing an amazing job. She's in strategy in banking. She's studying the Islamic banking. She's studying all these things. And there is still room in banking. Banking is not going anywhere. People still want to bank. You could even look at all these other different models of how banking is done, because there's still the World Bank, after all, that's borrowing people money. There's still I think there's that bank, the African bank. It's still out there. So there's still a lot, that can still be said about banking. Mr. Power says there is also a vertical and horizontal growth path for any career. That's true. You could actually grow across, just saying I'm jumping across. I'm not expecting much. I'm just moving across. I'm not expecting a higher position. I'm just moving to another department in the same business. So that is called horizontal growth. You are growing, but not in terms of like positions, but you're growing, just moving, growing your skill, growing your influence across the board. That is also something that can be done. So think about those kind of things. So, guys, we've got 10 minutes. Can you believe it? It's been amazing. And I want to see your feedback, guys. I want to see your feedback. Talk to me. Are you benefiting? Are you getting something? Are we making progress? I want to see that 209 of you. Please talk to me. So, guys, we've only gone as far as um, number 5, right? So next time make it an hour 30. Oh, what? That's a lot. So we're gonna have a part 2. We're gonna have a part 2 of this session. Okay, I'll put it on my on my TikTok. I'll do a poster again. We'll probably have a part 2. Today is Monday. We'll probably have a part 2 on Monday next week, where we talk about a career plan, where we finish off, because we've got 10 points that we have to deal with. Time is not on my side, but I really, really enjoyed this. So, guys, there are no questions. There's no feedback. Come on, guys. There are 9 minutes of you, giving me feedback. Write something, say something, follow me. But I hope you got something. Encourage me so that I can come back on Monday next week at 5 o'clock, so that we can get this thing going. It will be great to actually get your feedback and hear what you guys are thinking about this that we are talking about today. So today, guys, we spoke about 5 things that you are going to need for career planning for 2025. There are 5 more things that we still need to talk about. So number 1, we said the question you need to ask yourself is, what are your dreams? Number 1, what are your dreams, hopes, and aspirations? Number 2, what am I wired for? Number 3, what is the labor market saying about my desired field? Number 4 is, what are the available opportunities in my in my field? And number 5, we left off saying, what am I going to need in order to meet the labor market needs? So I'm closing with that to say to you, you need to do a skills audit, right? To say, here's the gap that I'm seeing in the labor market. Do I have the skills? Do I have the competence? What do I need to go get? What certification do I need to go get? What qualification do I need to go get? The honest truth, guys, is that these papers do matter. They do count. In certain spaces, it's the papers that talk for us. You know, I'm not the most charismatic person on earth, but I've got the papers. So it helps, so that when people see the papers, well, when people see the papers, they, even the disrespectful ones, they back down, because I've got the papers to prove I know what I'm saying. You know, the papers do matter, guys. So qualifications do matter. Thank you, Bonnie. The feedback means a lot. Can I have more feedback? Next week on Monday, 5 o'clock, we are finishing the rest of this other stuff. So we're having part 2 of this thing. So what I'm saying to us, guys, is once you have discovered the gap, once you've discovered the labor market and what the labor market is asking for, the next phase is, what qualifications and certifications do I need to get? Guys, there are qualifications that can open hectic doors. Hectic doors. There's a guy that inspires me. I don't think I'll ever do what he does. His name is Faraim Lambo. If you're on LinkedIn, look for Faraim Lambo. He's a brainy cat. He did 2 PhDs. I'm not doing 2 PhDs. One is enough. It gave me a headache for a lifetime. So he's a smart guy, and you can see, man, he's hustling. The papers matter. People call him. Why? Because the papers matter. You know? Oh, okay, you also know him. Yeah, just tell him that I spoke about him. So, guys, what I'm saying to us is, when you leave here, please go ask yourself those first 5 questions. Next week, we'll talk about the last other 5 questions. On LinkedIn. Okay, fine, Herbert. So, the last thing that I said to you is, what qualifications, certifications do I need? Even if you're going to do technical, practical work, having that certificate means something. I can do bricklaying. I can do plumbing. Here's the paper to prove it. Because now, if you're going to be an electrician and you're not qualified, it's going to be a problem. Do you have what it takes? I mean, you look at a career of an actuarial scientist. Those people write crazy tests. Dozens and dozens of tests. Are you prepared to be doing test after test after test after test, certificate after certificate, to qualify as an actuary? or not? So those are the questions. To become a CA, you need to pass that test. You will need to go study and write that board exam. Most of the things, of course, there are board exams. Like in HR, there's an organization that kind of certifies you and says you've got what it takes, or and so on. So you need to ask yourself, what bodies do I need to be part of? Things like that. So I'm hoping you got something from this, guys, and that you've got something to work on this week. If you are not following me, please follow me. I've got content on there. I want to see that you followed me. Drop me a comment to just let me know. Geez, becoming Dr. Lefa, you struck something. You struck a nerve. I'm ready to fold my sleeves and do something. Mr. Power, thank you, man. It was great to engage with you. We'll meet next week 5 o'clock as well. I can see we've got about 223 guys that are here. I want to see your comments, guys. I want to see your input. Did you find this helpful? Can I see 2 or 3? Do you have a question as well? I saw somebody asking about banking. Do you have a question that we can easily deal with in the next 4 minutes? Herbert says, we have learned and cannot wait for next week's session. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This means a lot to me, guys. As I spread my wings and use the knowledge that I've gained in the space that I've been in and studying for a while. My thesis is about career development, by the way. So that is why I'm passionate about helping us move to the next level. So let your friends know as well that there's this guy on Facebook who's a career on LinkedIn, who's a career coach, who on TikTok, who's a career coach. Please follow him. He's got a lot of stuff that has to do with life and content, and on Mondays he's gonna start coming through at 5 o'clock and taking us to the next level. So this was part 1. I really wish you all the best. So it's saying this thing is gonna end. So thank you so much, guys. It's been great to really get to know you and spend time with you. Feel free. Cheers. It's been wonderful. I don't see any more comments. Anything you want to know before we say bye-bye, before we say time to say goodbye? Any last takers? Guys, it's been great. See you next time when we have our next session, which is Monday next week, 5 o'clock. We are doing part 2. Cheers.